Hey guys, cbmarcus here, back again, this time with something a little bit different. I just want to show you what I've been working on in my birthday week. It's actually today, as of my recording this, my 25th birthday, which is pretty insane. Not something I thought I'd ever actually reach. But here we are, that's life, right? With this, I just got some time to reflect on the draft scene, kind of what I've done in the past 8 or so years, maybe 9, that I've been a part of the community. And it really helped me reflect on the two things that I think make drafts so much fun. The first one is the creativity, and the second one is helping and being able to collaborate with people. This is usually done a draft, but just because I run some graphic stuff and I know a ton of different people, I am able to help and collaborate and be creative in so many other ways than just team building and playing whatever in draft. I work with graphics, I work with a bunch of other people on a bunch of other projects outside of the game itself, and so this is going to be a little bit new. I actually want to make a different thing for you all today. This is going to be CB's Easy Peasy Battle Helper. It is going to be a public note-taking tool, mainly geared towards the Wi-Fi format. You may ask, what is this thing? What is a note-taking device? Well, let me explain that. A note-taking device is something that would help you over the course of the match to retain information, make sure that you know what your opponent has done, and help you formulate strategies, come up with end games, and figure out what mods are useful either on your team or on your opponent's team. It's helped out a few different coaches, especially some in the PPL who have gotten to try my beta version of this. And so now that I have an official version that I want to release to the public, I want to give everybody here a chance to be able to use this. And so very simply put, all you do in order to use this is go to File, once you get the link to this, and make yourself a copy. But with that being said, guys, let's get into how this all works. So once you get past this front screen here, which will have some information, including a link to this video, just in case you need a little bit more help, you can just hide this. It's not particularly useful otherwise. And we have two main tabs, the opponent's team down here and the battle helper tab. Now, your opponent's team is important for team preview. What you're going to do is once you see the Pokemon on your screen, the 6 Pokemon that you're going to be going up against, all you have to do is put them down into this list just by typing as such. Let's say they have an Azumarill, Arcanine, Landorus, Slowking, Breloom, and Skeledirge. Not a great team, but this is just some example team that I have here. Once you're done with that, you're basically taking these 6 and you're putting these on this tab to go into the battle helper. Once you have your opponent's team all down here, you will go into the battle helper, and this is where the magic's gonna happen. Firstly, for those of you who can't see the full screen of what's happening and have to scroll down, there are a couple options. You can go to view and hide this formula bar that's right here. It'll usually have some information, but for this, we actually don't need it, so you can hide. Also, you can click this arrow right up here to hide the menus. You can also zoom in and zoom out, of course, and with that, you should get a full screen of information. This is divided into 6 sections and 4 subsections. So basically, the 6 sections represent each Pokemon here. Of course, you have every Pokemon in their own little box, and then every single box for one Pokemon has 4 different subsections. There's one little box for the Pokemon itself, some general info in the bottom left corner, the moveset up here, and then in other notes section. Firstly, we have the main section, which is just the Pokemon. This is basically what the opponent team is prepping for. Once you click these mods in here, and once you put your opponent's team into this tab, it will go back into the battle helper, and from there, you will see all these images, these nice little colorful images of all the Pokemon. There are a few different things I need to go over in the general section. Firstly, let's start with health. This 100 here represents the percentage of health of any given Pokemon. So this is the ratio of the current health over the total health. As you can see here, it starts out at 100, of course, and as it goes down the match, as you chip something, it will go down. So let's say you get some Stealth Rocks chip on an Azumarill. You just put it at 88, and it'll keep track of that HP. Now let's say that this Azu goes below 50%. Just like the bar in any Pokemon game, it will go to a different color, this one being yellow. And then let's say it goes below 25 or 25 or below, it will go red. Now, if the Pokemon faints, you'll put it at 0, and then from there, it'll be grayed out, and you don't really have to focus on it that much. Up next, we have the health of the Pokemon, basically the status. Right now, everything is at healthy, of course, because the game has probably just started, but let's say you want to change that. All you have to do is click from this list here. You can go with burned, you know, maybe it got scald burned, maybe it got T-waved here. You can also type it into, so it'll autofill for you. And this will just keep track of the status. Maybe something gets status on the other screen. All you need to do is make sure that you know what is status, and then you will keep that in mind for the rest of the game. Up next, we have the item. Now, this is always going to be blank to start with, but if you want, all you need to do is just start typing in an item, and it'll give it. And there's also a picture to accompany the item name. I find that having this visual is super important, just so I can tell at a glance what the set is. And it is very nice just to be able to quickly get this information. Up next, we have abilities, and this list is actually going to be super small, of course, because these Pokemon only have certain abilities. Unlike items, where you can put any item on any Pokemon, these abilities are only given to certain Pokemon. And so for Azu, you can just pass an ability that you think it is once it's been revealed. The last little section in the general section is this Tera box here. I find that in Gen 9, terrestrialization is super annoying to keep track of. I find that sometimes Terramons will come in, get a kill, and leave, and it's something that slips my mind every time. So just having this little Tera box here, just to make sure that you know what Mon has terred, is very important. For instance, if this Azu terred into a grass type, it'll be right there, and there will be a coordinating color to accompany that name. On the topic of colors, we have colors for all the moves as well. Let's say this Pokemon learns Headbutt, and it's been used against our team. All we have to do is take note of that right here, and that'll be recorded for the rest of the match. Let's say it gets something like Play Rough. It'll be right there. Let's say it gets Liquidation, and it's used it against us. All we gotta do is just put it down. It's that simple. What I find really nice about this is that having these colors and having these type symbols on the side is very useful just to be able to discern any given set, and I feel like you can tell a lot just by looking at maybe 2 moves. It's really important just to see the intent, and I feel like just seeing these types and seeing these moves all colored up really shows you the intent and the functionality of the set for sure. Lastly, we have the note-taking tab, which is just a very basic note space. I feel like this is more important than like having all these boxes for EVs and stuff like that, which is something I had in the beta version. And it's very easy just to be able to write something down if you want. Let's say, for instance, this Azu outspeeds something. Let's say it's faster than my Ursaluna. All you need to do is just write that down. Outspeeds Ursaluna, and boom, it's right there. Now, it looks like there's only a couple spaces for notes, but all you need to do is while you're typing, hit Alt-Enter, and you can type in another line. So let's say, for example, that you find out that this Azu is just a little bit of chip away from being killed by a certain move. All you need to do is write that down maybe on this second part, maybe like 12% from something like maybe a Specs Dark Pulse KOing. And, you know, for instance, if it's at like 35% or something like that, maybe that's the case. Obviously not at 100. But the option's there to always note take. Another example of using this note section is, say, for a Quark Drive mod or a Photosynthesis mod. Now, let's say that the item to begin with is a booster energy, and it has been used. Well, what you could do is you could change it to no item to say that it doesn't have an item anymore, but you're missing key information by just saying that it doesn't have an item. What you could do is say that it was booster speed. That could be useful to determine the EV spread, what outpaces what, and potentially how much damage output this Iron Moth might have. Either way, the other notes section is for you to be completely creative with, so if there's anything you want to put in there, feel free to do so. Now lastly, I do have some extra resources for anybody that just wants to copy this for these extra pages themselves, for anybody trying to start a draft league or anybody in need of, you know, some assets for a different project. These are all right here. I have some stats and some information tabs for you guys. Here we have all the types with the type images that you can reference. I have items as well, which I actually will be updating to get HD versions of. I have the move information, so you can see all of this info right here. Reference anything you want. I also have the Pokemon information, which is a very, very massive tab. I do warn you guys that this is going to really take up a lot of processing power to load all of these images, but it can be very, very useful. Lastly, we have this little miscellaneous information tab, which I actually personally use. This isn't for reference or anything like that. This isn't probably going to be very helpful, but that's just what I use for some stuff in the back here. And with that being said, guys, there's one last thing to talk about. If ever you need to clean this up, there is a very simple way to do that. Let's say you're done with a match, you've made a ton of edits, there's a lot of stuff that you've changed, and you have no idea how to clean this all up. Well, all you need to do is go to the version history, see the version history, and there should be a very clear title right here saying the version of the helper. And all you need to do is restore to that version. As you can see, there's a lot of edits that were made. Those are going to be in this teal here. And if you restore the version, it will change it back to its original form. So you don't have to go erasing anything. You don't have to change anything. It's really all there for you just to click and poof, clean it up. With that being said, guys, let me know how it goes with this. All you need to do again is to just go to File, make a copy, and you can start using your own version of this. I will accept good feedback. I will accept bad feedback. Whatever it is that you find interesting with this project, just feel free to let me know. And with that being said, guys, I hope you guys have a great day. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Peace.